Hi everyone, welcome to My Maths Academy. In this video, we'll continue with the chapter matrices from your 12th standard CBSE Mathematics. We'll continue with exercise 3.2, problem number 18 in your textbook, which is in page number 82. So what is given is A matrix is given as 0, minus tan alpha by 2, tan alpha by 2, 0, and I is the identity matrix of order 2, which means it is 1, 0, 0, 1. 1 0 0 1, and we have to show that I plus A is equal to I minus A into this matrix cos alpha minus sin alpha then cos alpha. So we have to show that this is equal to this. So let's take the LHS. Let's take the LHS. LHS is what? Left hand side is I plus A. What is I? I is 1 0 0 1 plus A. A is 0 minus tan alpha by 2, tan alpha by 2, 0. So we should add these two. So when you add these two, you get 1 plus 0 is 1, 0 minus tan alpha by 2. This is tan alpha by 2, 0 plus tan alpha, 1 plus 0 is 1. So this is our LHS. Now we have to take the RHS and we will calculate this and we will show that this into this is also equal to this. So therefore we can say I plus A equal to this, because your I plus A is this. We should get the value of this right hand side also should be equal to this. Then we can show that these two equal. Sorry. So now let's find what is I minus A. What is I minus A? I minus A is I is 1 0 0 1 minus A. A is 0 minus tan alpha by 2, tan alpha by 2, and then 0. Now if you subtract them, right? So 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus tan alpha by 2 will become plus tan alpha by 2. 0 minus tan alpha by 2 will become minus tan alpha by 2. And 1 minus 0 is 1. So you'll get this. Then we have to multiply this with this. Right? So I'll write that here. Probably I'll write it here. I'm putting a line here. Probably a box here. Right? Now what is I minus A? I minus A into cos alpha minus sin alpha, cos alpha. So what is I minus A? I minus A is this one. Right? 1 tan alpha by 2 minus tan alpha by 2, 1. This into this matrix cos alpha minus sin alpha, cos alpha. And we are going to multiply them. So if you multiply this, what do we get? So 1 into cos alpha is cos alpha. So first row with first column. Then sin alpha into tan alpha by 2 is sin alpha, tan alpha by 2. This into this plus this into this. That is the first element. Then 1 into minus sin alpha is minus sin alpha. Then tan alpha by 2 into cos alpha is plus cos alpha tan alpha by 2. Then we should do the second row. Minus tan alpha by 2 into cos alpha is minus cos alpha tan alpha by 2 plus 1 into sin alpha is sin alpha. So this into this plus this into this. Second row with the first column will give. Now second row with second column. Minus tan alpha by 2 to minus sin alpha will become sin alpha tan alpha by 2 plus 1 into cos alpha is cos alpha. Right, so that is what we have got now. But what we should get, this whole value should be equal to this. I plus A. This whole value should be equal to this. So which means this should ideally give me 1. And here I should get tan alpha minus tan alpha by 2. So this should become tan alpha by 2 and this should be also be 1. Actually both these two are same. So if you get 1 here, this will also should be 1. But to prove that it is equal to 1, let's try to apply some of the trigonometric formulas. Right? Now we have sin alpha. So this I will write as cos alpha as it is, plus sin alpha, and I have tan alpha by 2. So we have to make this entire value as 1. because this has to match with this. So sin alpha I can write it as 2 sin alpha by 2 cos alpha by 2, because your sin 2a formula, sin 2a is 2 sin a cos a, or your sin a formula is 2 sin a by 2 cos a by 2. So your sin alpha is 2 sin alpha by 2 cos alpha by 2. That is your sin alpha. That is your trigonometric formula which you should be aware. So then tan alpha by 2 is can be written as sin alpha by 2 divided by cos alpha by 2. So this is your this entire thing. Now here, so here again we will put minus sin alpha as minus 2 sin alpha by 2 cos alpha by 2, where I am putting this minus sin alpha as minus sin alpha is 2 sin alpha by 2 cos alpha. Then this one I will keep it as it is as plus cos alpha, and tan alpha I will write it as sin alpha by 2 by cos alpha by 2. Fine. Or even I can keep it as tan alpha by 2 itself. That's okay, doesn't matter. Again we are going to convert this into tan alpha by 2, right? I can even keep this as tan alpha by 2 itself. We don't have to change it. Even if we change it, that is okay. So tan alpha by 2. So this expression now, this will become same as this. So we will not disturb this. This is minus cos alpha tan alpha by 2 plus sin alone you write as 2 sin alpha by 2 cos alpha by 2. That is this part. Now here this one again we'll write sin as however these two are same. However we wrote this same thing we'll write here. So your sin alpha is 2 sin alpha by 2 cos alpha by 2, and tan alpha by 2 is sin alpha by 2 by cos alpha by 2. I'm sorry to write it so bottom, plus cos alpha. So basically whatever I have written here, I have written here. Fine. Then if you see your cos alpha by 2, cos alpha by 2 will get cancelled. Here also cos alpha by 2, cos alpha by 2 will get cancelled. Right. So finally what we will have here is that is equal to, this is equal to, I'm writing the continuation of this there. So this will become cos alpha plus, this is 2 sin alpha into sin alpha by 2 into sin alpha by 2 is 2 sin square alpha by 2 plus 2 sin square alpha by 2. That is the value of this whole thing. Now here I will take tan alpha by 2 common because we need tan alpha by 2 in the answer. So I will take minus tan alpha by 2 common here. If I take, because we need an answer minus tan alpha, so this entire thing should become minus tan alpha by 2. So here I will take minus tan alpha by 2 common from these two. Then what do we get? So if I take minus tan alpha by 2 as common, then here I don't have a tan alpha by 2, but I still have taken, which means I have taken sin alpha by 2 by cos alpha by 2. But there is no cos alpha by 2 in the denominator. So we have to multiply this with cos alpha by 2. So this will become 2 cos square alpha by 2. So if you multiply both, this will be sin by cos, sin alpha by 2 by cos alpha by 2. To multiply sin alpha by 2 divided by cos alpha by 2 with this, you will get this. You get this part. Then here we have taken minus tan alpha by 2 common, so this will become minus cos alpha. This whole thing is in the matrix. Then again this one, same logic we will use as what we had used here. So I will take here I need what? Tan alpha by 2. I will take tan alpha by 2 common. So if I take tan alpha by 2 common, here I will have minus cos alpha. So minus cos alpha. Because tan alpha by 2 I have taken. Because why I am taking tan alpha by 2? Because I need tan alpha by 2 in the answer. So I am taking tan alpha by 2 common. So it will become minus cos alpha. And here I have taken tan alpha by 2 out, which means sin alpha by 2 by cos alpha by 2. I am multiplying, dividing by cos alpha by 2. So this will become cos square alpha by 2. Then this will become tan alpha by 2. That is taken out. It will become 2 cos square alpha by 2 plus 2 cos square alpha by 2. So if you multiply both, You multiply tan alpha by 2 with this. Tan alpha by 2, you will write as sin alpha by 2 by cos alpha by 2. So 1 cos alpha by 2 and this cos alpha by 2 will get cancelled. You will get 2 sin alpha by 2 cos alpha by 2, this one. So similarly here, you will get 2 sin alpha by 2 into sin alpha, because cos square got cancelled. Cos alpha by 2, cos alpha by 2 got cancelled. You will have only this and this. So sin alpha into sin alpha is sin square alpha by 2, 2. So 2 sin square alpha by 2 plus cos alpha, which is this. And if you observe here, see, we are going to use a couple of formulas, which is our cos 2a formula. So we have cos a formula can be written as 1 minus 2 sin square a by 2. Cos a is what? 1 minus 2. We get actually from the cos 2a formula. So I'll write cos 2a or cos 2x formula. Cos 2a is 1 minus 2 sin square a, which means my cos a will become 1 minus 2 sin square a by 2. If I put, instead of 2a, if I put a, this a will become a by 2. So this and all you would have studied in your 11th standard in the trigonometric functions chapter, right? So now I need what? I need 1 cos alpha plus 2 sin square. So if this comes this side, then it will become cos a plus 2 sin square a by 2 will become 1. This minus 2 sin square comes this side, it will become plus 2 sin square a by 2. So cos a plus 2 sin square a by 2 is 1. So here cos alpha plus 2 sin square alpha by 2, so this will become 1. So this is same as this. Instead we have alpha here, we have a here. So this is 1. So similarly, if you see value of this 2 cos square alpha by 2 minus cos alpha, we have to use the other formula that we have. We have one more formula for cos 2a, which is 2 cos square a minus 1, which means my cos a will be, if I write 2a instead of 2a, if I write cos a, then this will become 2 cos square a by 2 minus 1. Whenever it is 2a, I will get a. If it is a, I will get a by 2. Now if I throw this, so this 1 comes here and this cos a goes to the other side, I'll get 1 is equal to 2 cos square a by 2 minus cos a. So what is the value of 2 cos square a by 2 minus cos a? It is 1. So this value will become 1. So we'll get minus tan alpha by 2 into this value is 1 into 1. So similarly here tan alpha by 2 into 1, because this whole value is this 2 cos square a by 2 minus cos alpha, 2 cos square alpha by 2 minus cos. Then this will be again same as this, and we proved value of this is 1. So this will be 1. So your final answer is 1 minus tan alpha by 2, tan alpha by 2, 1, which is matching with I plus a, this one. So what is the value of this? So this is equal to I plus a. So what we have proved, we have started with this I minus a into this is equal to, we have proved this, right? So in the LHS here, the left hand side, what we have is this. That is what's coming here, equal to then this. So we have proved 1 minus a times this is equal to 1 plus I plus a. I minus a times cos alpha minus sin alpha cos alpha is equal to I plus a, which is this. So we have proved this equal to this, right? So it's an important question. Please, all of you, make the note of this. You have to do the normal thing. Only thing is here you have to be little careful in applying the trigonometric formulas. For that you have to be really thorough, and this is gone to the very bottom, but whatever I have written here is same as here. So this I have written here and this one, because both these two are same. Only thing is your sin alpha by this one is here and this one is here. So if you couldn't see this in the video, please take this and write it here. Cos alpha is visible, but this part is this part, and same cancellation like what I have done here, I have done here also, right? So don't do this cos alpha by 2 itself gets cancelled, right? So all of you, these are the formulas that we have used, which you would have studied in your 11th standard, fine? So all of you can pause the video and take the notes. I'll go to the next one, which is 19th problem. This is the 19th problem. Fine. So what the 19th problem says is 19th one. It says a trust has rupees 30,000 that must be invested in two different types of bonds. The first bond pays 5% interest per year and the second bond pays 7% interest per year. Using matrix multiplication, determine how to divide 30,000 among the two types of bonds. If the trust fund must obtain an annual total interest of, there are two parts, rupees 1800 and rupees 2000. So there are two problems. So we'll do 19A. See, 19A is the total money the trust has is 30,000. They want to put it in two bonds. One bond is giving 5% interest, the other bond is giving 7% interest. So how much money they have to put it in the bond A, we can call it as A and B. Bond A which gives 5% interest and bond B which gives 7% interest. So that the total interest they get for 1 year is 1800. We'll come to the second part which is 2000. B part. First we'll do the A part. So we'll assume let the money or amount invested, let the amount invested in 5% bond. The bond which gives 5% interest is rupees X. So X rupees is invested in the bond which gives 5% interest. Or we can say invested in bond 1, we can say, which gives 5% interest. Bond 1 or bond A, bond 1 is rupees X. Then let the amount invested in bond 2 will be what? Is obviously 30,000 minus X, because totally they have 30,000. Totally they have 30,000. So in one bond they have to, if one bond if they put X, the remaining amount is 30 minus X should be put in the other bond. 30 minus X. So this is the money that they are going to invest in the second bond. So bond 1 gives 5%, bond 2 gives 7% interest per annum. Now we are to, using the matrix multiplication, we have to determine how much money is split between both those two bonds so that the interest is 1800 or 1800. Now we'll take the principal matrix. See, always the rate matrix or cost matrix, we should call it as a column matrix. So we will take the rate matrix and call it as R as the rate of the bond. One bond is 5%, the other bond is 7%. So this is your rate matrix. So 5% means it is same as 5 by 100. 7% means 7 by 100. So this is my R matrix, which is my rate matrix. Now what is the principal matrix? Principal matrix will take it as column, because only then we can multiply this and this. So the order of this is 1 to 2 cross 1. So we will take the principal matrix as 1 cross 2, opposite of this. So your principal will be, principal matrix is, this is your principal that you are going to invest. We call it as P, so that will be X for the 5%, and for 7 by 100 it is 30,000, 30,000 minus X. So this is your principal matrix. So order is 1 cross 2. Right? Now right? So it is 2 cross 1 and this is 1 cross 2. Now we are going to multiply the rate with P will give you interest. We can multiply this into this, but that will give you a 2 cross 2 matrix. We finally need an interest. Interest matrix is what? The interest they have given it as, interest is a matrix that is given as 1800. So what is the order of this matrix? 1 cross 1 matrix. So interest is 1800. So the principal should be like this. It should be a 2 cross 1 and your rate should be 2 cross 1 and principal should be 1 cross 2. Now only then what is our formula? The simple interest is PTR by 100, right? PTR by 100 or PTR, that is our interest, SI. We have studied in your earlier classes, right? So here the time is 1 year, because they said for total annual total interest. Annual means only one year. So T is 1. So which means your interest is nothing but P into R by 100. Which R is already given in terms of 100. It is just P into R. When you multiply this and this, that will be equal to interest. So we'll multiply R with P. Don't multiply this with this, because if you multiply this with, we have to multiply P with R. So that's when we will get the, we have to do P with R. So P into R will give me the interest I. Now what is P? P is X, 30,000 minus X into R. R is 5 by 100, 7 by 100. If you multiply, I should get 1800. That is my I matrix, interest matrix. Now multiply X. So how do you multiply this into this? So this is a 1 cross 2 matrix. It is a 2 cross 1 matrix. So if you multiply, finally you'll get a 1 cross 1 matrix. So that will be equal to X into 5 by 100 will be 5X by 100 plus 30,000 minus X into 7 by 100 will be 7 into 30,000 minus X by 100 or 7 by 100 times 30 minus X. 7 by 100 times 30,000 minus X, and this is equal to 1800. Is equal to 1800. So now if you simplify this, so which means this is one matrix, this is also one matrix, this is also matrix, which means both the elements are equal. So which means we get the equation as, now we will equate the element. This also has only one element, this also has only one element. This is a 1 cross 1 matrix, this is also 1 cross 1 matrix. So which means you will get 7 by 100 times 30,000 minus X equal to 1800. We will solve this and find the value of X. Now we will multiply throughout by 100. You will get 5X plus 7 into, and multiplying throughout by 100, then this will become 180000. Multiplying throughout by 100, so that these two hundreds gets cancelled. Every term is multiplied by 100. Then if you multiply this, if you simplify this further, fine. So the continuation of this is 5X, then plus 7 times 31 is 21 lakh, 2 lakh 1000, then minus 7X equal to 180000. Now you will get minus 2X equal to, this goes this side, you will get minus 30,000. So your X will become 15,000. So you have to invest 15,000 in the first bond, that is X. So second bond will be, so money invested in, money to be, or amount to be invested, amount to be invested in bond 1, which gives 5% interest, is 15,000, and amount to be invested in bond 2, which gives you 7% interest, is, if you want we can put in the bracket, bond 1 in the bracket we can say 5%, the bracket we can say 7%, is 15,000, and 7% will be 30,000 minus X, and X we got 15, so 30,000 minus 15, again this will also be 15. So in each we have to put 15,000 in each bond, so that we get a total annual interest of 1,800. Fine. So this is how we do this. There is A part, 9A. So 9B you can do similarly. Sorry, 19B. 19B is do it yourself. 19B part, the only this, everything is same. The only thing is here, instead of 1800 you will put 2000. Here you will put 2000. Everything else is same. And then you will obviously get different answer for X. Once you get X, you will get for the 5% bond. Put that X value here. 30,000 minus X, you will get the amount to be invested in bond 2. So 19th B part, 19th problem, B part is do it yourself. You can do it by yourself. Fine. So I will go to the problem number 20. So 20, problem number 20 is, a bookshop of a particular school has 10 dozens chemistry book, 8 dozens physics book, 10 dozens economics books. Their selling prices are rupees 80, 60 and 40 respectively. Find the total amount the bookshop will receive from selling all these books using matrix algebra. Matrix algebra. So which means a bookshop in a particular school has chemistry, physics and economics books, and how much. So I will call them as book. I'll call them as a D or book B matrix, which is books. So and then the selling prices are also given. So we'll write always the rate and the price. Okay. So the selling price for each book is given as 80. So whenever you get cost price, selling price, rate percent, you always write it as a column matrix. So I will call this as my selling price. So I'll call it as P matrix. P matrix is the price matrix. I'm going to put 80, 60 and 40. So what is the meaning of this? Meaning of this is 80, 60, 40 means the price of the chemistry book, one chemistry book, one physics book, one economics book. This is for chemistry, this is for physics, this is for economics. Cost of one book is rupees 80, 60 and 40. Now how many books that shop has? It has 10 dozens of chemistry book. I'll call that as B matrix. Now here I will say it has 10 dozens of. So once you write this in the row matrix, try to write this in the column matrix. This is this is the column matrix. Try to write this as row matrix. So this will be 10 dozens of chemistry books. So 10, 8 dozens of physics and 10 dozens of economics. So here I have written this in the form of dozens, in dozens. This is in dozens. In dozens. Not a single book, I have written it in dozens. This is the cost of one book. But here 10 is in dozens. 10 dozens of chemistry book, 8 dozens of physics book, 10 dozens of economics book. Now we need to find what is the total cost that shopkeeper will get. Total cost the shopkeeper will get, the total cost we call the C matrix will be equal to, all these are given in terms of dozens. We should convert them into books, which means we should multiply each one of them by 12. 10 dozens means 120 books. 8 dozens means 8 times 12, 96 books. Again, this will become 120 books. So which means we should multiply each element by 12, which means I should find my 12B matrix. The 12B matrix will give me the number of books for chemistry, physics and economics respectively. That should be multiplied with this matrix P, price matrix. So if you multiply book with the price matrix, if you multiply the number of books with the cost of each book, you will get the total cost that the bookshop will, the total amount the bookshop will receive, that is C matrix. To call that as C matrix, right? We will say total amount. I'll call it as total amount. So total amount is given by C equal to 12 times B into P. The B is this matrix. Why we are multiplying by 12? Because B is in dozen. We need to find the number of books here. 10 dozen means 120 books. So that's why we are multiplying the B matrix with 12 to get the number of books. The number of books into cost of one book will give you the total cost or the total amount the shop will get by selling all the books. So that is equal to, so we'll keep this 12 as it is. B into P will do the multiplication of B. P is what? 10, 8, 10 into P. P is 80, 60, 40. Now we can multiply them because this is order is 1 cross 3, this is 3 cross 1. So number of columns of first matrix equal to number of rows of second matrix. So we can do the multiplication. So if you multiply, what do we get? We get, I can write it here probably. Yes, I can write it here. So if you multiply, you get your C will be equal to 12 into 10 into 80 is 800 plus 8 into 60 is 480 plus 10 into 40 is 400. So that will be equal to 12 into your C is 800, 1200, 1680. So if you multiply this, you'll get 20160 is your C. To multiply both, it's a matrix, so we'll put the box here. 12 should be multiplied with now 1680. So you will get the cost. If you multiply, you'll get 20160. If you multiply 12 into 1680, these two. So the total amount. So the total amount will be total amount. The total amount the shopkeeper will get, the bookshop will receive. Total amount the bookshop will receive is equal to rupees 20160 by selling all the books. 20, which is 20,160. 20,160 rupees they will get by selling all the books. Fine. So all of you can take the notes of this. I'll go to the 21st problem. Let me erase this. So 21st problem is an MCQ. It's an easy one. So they have said, they assume that X, Y, Z, W, P are of order. So they have given the order of all the matrices. Few matrices. So what is given is X matrix, the order is 2 cross n. Y matrix, the order is 3 cross k. Then Z matrix, the order is 2 cross p. Then W matrix, the order is n cross 3. Then P matrix order is P cross K. If this P is capital P, this is small p. Fine. This is a matrix, this is a number. N cross 3 is W, 2 cross P is this, 3 cross K, and X, Y, Z. So these are the order. So I've written like this. W's order is n cross. This is how the 5 matrices are. So what should be the restriction on NK? The restriction on NKP so that PY plus WY is defined. So PY, so we have to define the matrix. If I want to calculate PY plus WY, what should be the restrictions on, or how my N, K and P should be? Small n, small k and small p should be, so that this is defined. This is defined, which means what is the order of P? P's order is P cross K, and Y's order is 3 cross K, plus W's order is n cross 3, and Y's order is 3 cross K. Now for the, if I want to multiply these two matrices, then we know the rule. Number of columns of the first matrix should be equal to number of rows of second matrix, which means my K should be equal to 3. K should be equal. So this gives you, for the multiplication, you should therefore K equal to 3. Only then P into Y you can do. So these two should match. So which means your K is 3. Your K should be equal to 3. So similarly here I can multiply S, because this is also 3, this is also 3, which means we can multiply. We can multiply W and Y. So first condition that we got is K should be equal to 3. So which means it is given K is equal to 3 in which option? So option A and option C. So one of them should be right. So the next condition is, we have to, now when I multiply P into Y, if you multiply, you will get your PY matrix order will be, these two will go, you will get P cross K. Plus, if this WY matrix will be, if you multiply, that will be n cross K. These two threes will go, you will get n cross K. Now this is P cross K, this is n cross K. Now for, we have to, if we want to add these two, then the order should be same. Which means it is K, my P should be equal to n. So P should be equal to n. Then only it will become n cross K and n cross K, or P cross K, P cross K. If you want to add these two matrices, the order of both the matrices should be same, but the order of this matrix is P cross K, order of this is n cross K. How did we get P cross K? Because these two will be gone. K equal to 3, so these two will go. The remainder is P cross K. This is n cross K, these two will go, this is n cross K. When you multiply these two matrices, the resultant matrix order, how do we get? We close these two. The column of this and row of this should be closed, then you will get n cross K. Again, if you want to add these two, this should be P cross K, this should also be P cross K, or both should be n cross K. The order should be same, which means your P should be equal to n. If these two are equal, then you can perform the addition, because already the columns are equal, so the rows have to be equal. So P, so the answer is K is equal to 3 and P is equal to n. So what is the answer? So answer should be K is equal to 3 and P is equal to n. So that gives, that comes in which option? First option. So answer is option A. Option A is the right answer. Option A. That's the right answer. Clear? Now let's do the 22nd problem. The 22nd problem is the continuation of this same 5 matrices of such orders. Now we have to, then the order of the matrix 7x minus 5z. What should be the order of 7x minus 5z? So that will be 7x minus 5z. That should be defined. So what should be? And also they have said n equal to p is given. If n equal to p, so they have said n equal to p. N is equal to p, this is given. N is equal to p is given. Now we have to find the other condition so that this is defined. 7x minus, so 7x, x order is what? 2 cross n minus 5z, z order is 2 cross p. Now if you want to do this, so what they have asked, if n is equal to p, order of this matrix, we need to find the order of this matrix. Order of this matrix will be what? So this matrix, this whole matrix. So if you want to subtract both these should be same, and they have said n is equal to p, which means you can subtract these two matrices. When you subtract these two matrices, the final order will also be what? So your order of 7x minus 5z will also be 2 cross n or 2 cross p, you can say, because n equal to p. N equal to p. Right? So the order of this will be what? Either you can say 2 cross n or 2 cross p, because n equal to p. N equal to p means I can put n here. So this is also 2 cross n, this is also 2 cross n, because p is n. When you subtract two matrices of order 2 cross n, the resultant matrix also will be 2 cross n. So the order of this entire matrix, 7x minus 5z, that will also be 2 cross n. So your option, the answer is B option. Option B, which says 2 cross n. Here option A says this one, k is equal to 3 and p is equal to n. That is option A. Here option B is 2 cross n. That is the correct answer. Fine. So you can pause the video and take the notes. And I will stop the video here. You can watch my video for the continuation of this. Thank you for watching. See you all in the next video. Thank you.